You stand at the edge of a vast, uncharted wilderness. The wind howls, carrying whispers of doubt, fear, and the weight of a world that tells you to stay small, to conform, to follow the path already worn by countless feet before you. But deep within your chest, a fire flickers, a spark that refuses to be extinguished. It's the voice of your potential, the echo of a truth you've always known. You were not born to blend in. You were born to stand out, to shape destinies, to move hearts, to change minds. You were born to influence. This is not about power for power's sake. It's not about manipulation or control. It's about unleashing the force within you, the force that inspires, that uplifts, that transforms the lives of those around you, and in doing so, transforms your own. Influence is not a gift reserved for the few. It is a skill, a craft, a way of being that you can master. And it begins right now, in this moment, with a single decision: to stop waiting for permission and start claiming the life you are meant to live. Look around you. The world is not a gentle place. It's a battlefield of ideas, of dreams, of wills clashing in the pursuit of meaning. Every day, you're bombarded with noise, opinions, distractions, the endless scroll of voices telling you who you should be, what you should want, how you should live. And yet, amidst this chaos, there are those who rise above. They are not louder than the crowd. They are clearer. They are not stronger. They are more certain. They are not born with some mystical advantage. They have simply learned the secret to winning hearts and minds. And that secret is not a mystery. It's a choice. It's the choice to believe in yourself, to understand others, to speak with purpose, and to act with conviction. Let me take you back to a moment in history, to a man standing on a dusty street in Pittsburgh, 1912. His name was Dale Carnegie, a struggling salesman with a dream bigger than his circumstances. He wasn't rich, wasn't famous, wasn't connected, but he had something more powerful, a vision. He saw a world where people could connect, not through force or fear, but through understanding, through empathy, through the simple act of making others feel valued. He didn't have a stage, so he created one. He didn't have an audience, so he found one. And with nothing but his words and his belief, he began to teach. He taught farmers numbering crops, factory workers and dreamers like himself how to speak, how to listen, how to influence. And in doing so, he changed millions of lives, not because he was extraordinary, but because he chose to be intentional. That same choice is yours today. You don't need a title, a fortune, or a following to begin. You need only the courage to step forward, to see the potential in yourself and in others, and to act on it. Influence is not about shouting from a mountaintop. It's about lighting a spark in the person standing right in front of you. It's about planting a seed of possibility in their mind, a seed that grows into action, into change, into a legacy. And it all starts with your mindset. Your mind is the battlefield where every victory is won or lost before the world ever sees it. Right now, your thoughts are shaping your reality. They are the architects of your future, the sculptors of your influence. If you believe you are small, you'll act small. If you believe you are unworthy, you will shrink from opportunity. But if you believe you are capable, if you dare to see yourself as a force, as a catalyst, as a leader, then the world will bend to meet you. Not because you demand it, but because you embody it. Consider the story of a young woman named Maya, who lived in a small town where dreams were as scarce as rain. She worked a job that drained her, surrounded by people who told her to settle, to accept her lot. But Maya had a fire inside her, a quiet but unyielding belief that she was meant for more. She stumbled across a tattered copy of Carnegie's book in a thrift store, its pages worn, but its words alive. She read about the power of a smile, the strength of listening, the magic of making others feel important. And she decided to try. She started small, greeting her coworkers with genuine warmth, asking questions instead of arguing, offering praise instead of criticism. Slowly, the air around her changed. People began to seek her out, to trust her, to follow her lead. Within a year, she was leading projects, inspiring her team, and building a life she'd once only dreamed of. Not because she was born with influence, but because she chose to cultivate it. Your mindset is the soil where influence grows. If it's choked with weeds of doubt, fear, or resentment, nothing will take root. But if you tend it with belief, with curiosity, with a relentless commitment to growth, it will yield a harvest beyond your imagination. Carnegie once said, "Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all." That's the mindset of influence. It's not about never failing. It's about never quitting. It's about seeing every setback as a lesson, every rejection as a redirection, every moment as an opportunity to become more. Right now, I want you to pause and ask yourself, what do you believe about yourself? Not what the world has told you, not what your past has whispered, but what you know in the deepest part of your soul. Do you believe you have something to offer? Do you believe you can inspire, uplift, lead? If there's even a flicker of yes, then hold on to it. Nurture it, because that flicker is the beginning of everything. Belief is the foundation, but it's not enough on its own. It's the spark, not the flame. To unleash your influence, you need clarity. Clarity of purpose, clarity of vision, clarity of who you are and what you stand for. Without clarity, your words are just noise, your actions just motion. With clarity, every step you take resonates, every word you speak lands, every connection you make matters. Imagine a ship sailing through a storm. The waves crash, the winds howl, the horizon is lost in darkness. But the captain doesn't panic. Why? Because he has a compass. He knows where he's going, even when the path is unclear. That compass is clarity. It's the difference between drifting through life and steering toward your destiny. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need to have all the answers to start. You just need to know your direction. Clarity begins with a simple question. What do you want to create in this world? Not what you want to take, not what you want to prove, but what you want to give. For Carnegie, it was a world where people felt seen, heard, valued. For you, it might be a team that thrives under your leadership, a community lifted by your vision, a family inspired by your example. Whatever it is, name it, write it down, speak it aloud. Let it become your North Star. Let me tell you about a man named Marcus, a teacher in a struggling school district. He felt invisible, stuck in a system that seemed to chew up dreams and spit out cynics. But one day, he sat down and asked himself what he wanted to create. The answer came like a thunderbolt. He wanted his students to believe in themselves, to see their potential, to know they could rise above their circumstances. That clarity changed everything. He stopped teaching to the test and started teaching to the heart. He listened to his students' stories, celebrated their small wins, challenged them to dream bigger. He didn't have more resources or time than anyone else. He had clarity, and that clarity turned a classroom into a crucible of transformation, where kids who'd been written off became scholars, leaders, dreamers. Clarity is not a one-time revelation. It's a daily practice. Every morning, you must recalibrate your compass. You must ask yourself, who am I today? What do I stand for? What impact will I make? The world will try to pull you off course. Distractions, doubts, the endless tug of other people's expectations. But when you're clear, you're unshakable. You don't just react to life, you shape it. And here's the secret Carnegie knew. Clarity breeds confidence. When you know who you are and what you're here to do, you don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to force your way into the room. Your presence speaks. Your purpose shines. People are drawn to you not because you demand their attention, but because you command their respect. But clarity alone is not enough. It's the map, not the journey. To unleash your influence, you must pair it with vision. A vision so vivid, so compelling, that it pulls you forward even when the road is rough. Vision is the ability to see what's possible, not just what's probable. It's the courage to dream beyond your current reality, to imagine a world where your influence has changed the game. Think of Martin Luther King Jr. standing on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in 1963. He didn't just see a divided nation. He saw a dream of unity, of equality, of justice. That vision wasn't a vague hope. It was a fire that burned in his bones, a picture so clear he could describe it to millions. And because he could see it, others could too. His vision didn't just inspire, it mobilized. It didn't just comfort, it challenged. That's the power of vision. It turns ideas into movements, dreams into realities. Your vision doesn't have to be that grand, but it has to be that clear. What do you see when you close your eyes? A business that changes lives? A family that thrives because of your love? A community that rises because of your leadership? Whatever it is, make it vivid. See the colors, hear the sounds, feel the weight of it. Let it live in you, because a vision that lives in you will never let you settle for less. And here's where most people falter. They dream, but they don't act. They see the mountain, but they never take the first step. Vision without action is just a daydream. Influence without effort is just a wish. Carnegie didn't change the world by dreaming of a better way. He did it by teaching, by writing, by showing up every day and putting his vision into practice. So let me ask you, what's one step you can take today toward your vision? Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Maybe it's a conversation you've been avoiding, a skill you need to learn, a fear you need to face. Whatever it is, do it. Because every step you take toward your vision is a step toward your influence. Every action you take with purpose is a declaration to the world. I am here, and I am not backing down. Let's talk about purpose now, because purpose is the heartbeat of influence. It's the why behind your what, the fuel behind your fire. Without purpose, your actions lack meaning, your words lack weight. With purpose, every moment becomes a mission, every interaction a chance to make a difference. Purpose is not something you find, it's something you choose. It's the decision to live for something bigger than yourself. For Carnegie, it was helping people connect. For you, it might be empowering others, creating beauty, solving problems, spreading truth. Whatever it is, it's already within you, waiting to be claimed. Consider the story of Sarah, a single mother working 2 jobs to keep her family afloat. She felt like life was a treadmill, endless motion, no progress. But one night, exhausted and on the verge of giving up, she asked herself why she kept going. The answer was her daughter. She wanted her daughter to see a woman who fought, who loved, who never gave up. That purpose became her anchor. She started small, smiling at her co-workers, listening to their struggles, sharing her own. She didn't have much, but she had purpose, and that purpose turned her into a beacon. Her co-workers began to lean on her, her daughter began to emulate her, and her life began to shift. Not because her circumstances changed, but because her perspective did. Your purpose doesn't have to be loud or dramatic. It can be quiet, personal, fierce in its simplicity. But once you choose it, it will guide you. It will give you the strength to keep going when the world feels heavy, the courage to speak when silence feels safer, the clarity to act when doubt clouds your mind. And purpose leads to discipline, because influence is not a gift, it's a habit. It's the daily choice to show up, to do the work, to be the person you say you are. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about choosing your vision over your comfort, your purpose over your excuses, your influence over your fears. Think of a sculptor chiseling a block of marble. Every strike of the hammer is deliberate. Every chip a step closer to the masterpiece. The sculptor doesn't wait for inspiration. He works. He doesn't stop when his arms ache. He persists. That's discipline. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Carnegie didn't become a legend by accident. He studied, he practiced, he refined his craft. He spoke to small groups when no one knew his name. He wrote when no one was reading. He built his influence one conversation, one lesson, one day at a time. And so must you. Discipline means saying no to distractions so you can say yes to your dreams. It means waking up early when you'd rather sleep, listening when you'd rather speak, learning when you'd rather assume. It means showing up for yourself day after day until the world starts showing up for you. And here's the beauty of discipline. It compounds. Every small act of commitment builds momentum. Every choice to act instead of wait strengthens your resolve. Every moment you choose courage over comfort makes you more magnetic, more inspiring, more influential. Right now, I want you to think of one area of your life where you've been inconsistent. Maybe it's your health, your relationships, your work. What's one small, disciplined action you can take today to move toward your vision? It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be intentional. Do it. Not because it will change everything today, but because it will change who you are tomorrow. And as you build discipline, you'll find something else growing: gratitude. Gratitude is the lens that turns scarcity into abundance, struggle into opportunity, pain into purpose. It's the ability to see the gift in every moment, the lesson in every challenge, the potential in every person. Carnegie understood this. He taught that influence begins with appreciation, not just for what you have, but for who you're becoming, for the people around you, for the chance to try again. Gratitude is not weakness, it's strength. It's the courage to look at a world that's often cruel and say, I am thankful for this moment because it is mine to shape. Let me tell you about James, a man who lost everything: his job, his savings, his confidence. He was angry, bitter, ready to give up. But one day, he sat in a park and watched the sunrise. For the first time in months, he felt a flicker of gratitude. Not for his losses, but for the fact that he was still here, still breathing, still capable of starting over. That gratitude became his lifeline. He started thanking people: a cashier, a neighbor, a stranger who held the door. He started noticing the small wins: a job interview, a kind word, a new idea. And slowly, his world began to shift. People responded to his warmth. Opportunities opened. His influence grew, not because he had more, but because he saw more. Gratitude is the secret weapon of influence. It makes you magnetic. It makes people want to be around you, to listen to you, to follow you. Because when you're grateful, you're not just living, you're radiating. You're not just existing, you're inspiring. So start now. Look around you. Find one thing, one person, one moment to be grateful for. Hold it in your heart. Let it remind you that you are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a creator of your destiny. And as gratitude grows, so does your adaptability. Because influence is not about controlling the world. It's about navigating it. Life will throw you curves, failures, betrayals, unexpected storms. The question is not whether they'll come, but how you'll respond. Adaptability is the art of bending without breaking, of finding a way when the path disappears. It's what allowed Carnegie to turn a struggling career into a global legacy. It's what allows you to turn setbacks into comebacks, obstacles into opportunities. Think of a river flowing through a canyon. It doesn't fight the rocks in its path. It finds a way around them. It doesn't stop when the terrain shifts. It carves a new course. That's adaptability. It's not about giving up your vision. It's about finding new ways to reach it. Let me tell you about Elena, a young entrepreneur whose business collapsed during a recession. She'd poured everything into it, her savings, her time, her heart. When it failed, she felt like she'd failed. But instead of giving up, she adapted. She listened to her customers, learned from her mistakes, pivoted to a new model. She didn't have the resources she once had, but she had something better: resilience. Today, her new venture thrives, not because she avoided failure, but because she embraced it as a teacher. Adaptability is the courage to let go of what was and embrace what can be. It's the willingness to learn, to grow, to evolve. Because the world is always changing, and so must you. Not by losing yourself, but by becoming more of yourself, stronger, wiser, more capable. Right now, think of a challenge you're facing. Maybe it's a relationship, a career setback, a dream that feels out of reach. What's one way you can adapt? One new approach, one new perspective, one new step? Take it. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Because every time you adapt, you grow. And every time you grow, your influence expands. And that brings us to resilience, the unyielding spirit that keeps you standing when the world tries to knock you down. Resilience is not the absence of pain. It's the strength to move through it. It's not the avoidance of failure. It's the courage to rise from it. Carnegie knew resilience. He faced rejection, poverty, doubt, but he kept going. He kept teaching, kept writing, kept believing. And because he did, his influence lives on, touching lives a century later. Resilience is the fire that burns when everything else has gone cold. It's the voice that whispers one more try when you've already given all you have. It's the choice to stand up, dust yourself off, and keep walking toward your vision, no matter how many times you've fallen. Think of Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for 27 years, yet emerging not with bitterness, but with a vision for reconciliation. His resilience didn't just change his life, it changed a nation. That's the power of resilience. It doesn't just save you, it inspires others. It doesn't just keep you going, it shows the world what's possible. Right now, I want you to think of a moment when you were knocked down. Maybe it was a failure, a loss, a betrayal. You're still here. That's resilience. That's proof that you have what it takes to keep going. So don't stop now. Don't let the weight of the past hold you back. Let it fuel you. Let it remind you that you are stronger than your struggles, bigger than your setbacks, more powerful than your fears. And as you build resilience, you'll find yourself learning from every experience, every person, every moment. Learning is the lifeblood of influence. It's what keeps you relevant, what keeps you growing, what keeps your vision alive. Carnegie was a lifelong learner. He studied people, ideas, stories. He didn't assume he knew it all. He sought to know more. And because he did, he could speak to anyone, farmers, CEOs, dreamers, doubters, and make them feel understood. Learning is not about collecting facts. It's about collecting wisdom. It's about listening to the world with an open heart, seeking out the lessons hidden in every challenge, every conversation, every silence. It's about being humble enough to admit you don't have all the answers, but hungry enough to find them. Let me tell you about Priya, a young woman who moved to a new country with nothing but a suitcase and a dream. She didn't speak the language, didn't know the culture, didn't have a network, but she had a hunger to learn. She watched, she listened, she asked questions. She studied the people who succeeded, learned from those who struggled, adapted to every new challenge. Today, She runs a thriving business, not because she was born with advantages, but because she was willing to learn. Learning is the key that unlocks every door. It's what turns strangers into allies, problems into opportunities, dreams into realities. So never stop learning. Read the books that challenge you. Listen to the people who inspire you. Seek out the experiences that stretch you. Because every lesson you learn makes you more capable, more connected, more influential. And as you learn, you'll find yourself growing, not just in skill, but in spirit. You'll find yourself becoming the person you were always meant to be. Not perfect, not flawless, but authentic, purposeful, unstoppable. This is the path of influence. It's not a straight line. It's a winding road full of twists and turns, peaks and valleys. But every step you take, every moment you choose belief over doubt, clarity over confusion, action over hesitation, brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. So keep going, keep believing, keep learning, keep growing, because the world is waiting for you. Not the you that you were, but the you that you're becoming. The you that inspires, that uplifts, that changes hearts and minds. The you that unleashes your influence and, in doing so, unleashes your destiny.